we discussed that Puranam Srunuyatam Nityam. One is supposed to listen to Purana every day. And what is the main purpose? Because this Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, especially these desires that have been classified into 4 categories, we generally work for Dharma. Because Dharma is nothing but karma. And when we work for Dharma, now instead of going towards Apavarga called Moksha, one may go for Artha. And once the person mind goes towards Artha, automatically Kama comes. Whereas Purana Shravanam makes a person to bring some change in the mind so that Dharma is directed towards Apavarga. So that was the essence we spoke in the last class. And while discussing this Padma Purana, as we say, the Puranam itself is the Avayava, the body of Vishnu. So being the body of Bhagavan Vishnu, we do look at differently. And here, in fact, I was going through, very nice verse comes in some other place very nicely, like how this entire body of Vishnu is being described through different Puranas. Ekam Puranam Rupam Vai Tatra Padmam Chaparam Mahata Brahmam Murdha Harireva Hrudayam Padma Sangyakam Vaishnavam Dakshino Bahu Saivam Bhama Vahasetu Uru Bhagavatam Prukta Navi Syat Naradikam. It goes on and on, all the 18 Puranas being described as different parts of Lord Vishnu. However, here says very carefully that we have discussed that mainly here Padma Purana becomes what? As Hrudayam. So being the heart, we respect more, and moreover, it talks a lot. So with this background, let us get into Purana. As you know, when we do this Purana Shravanam needs some minimum qualification. So the minimum qualification is called Shraddha. And also, I would like to make it very clear with all of you, as we are in Srishti Khanda, where the creation is being discussed in details, don't look at it too much. Means the purpose of explanation of Srishti is not to explain how did it come, why did it come. It's like as long as we are in the dream, it is almost impossible to know how did the dream world come to an existence. And once we are woken up, is it necessary to look at the dream? But because of our psychological problem, sometimes we want to analyze dream. Just to resolve my conflict, I analyze dream. But in reality, dream is dream. So also, as long as I am in this world, it is very difficult to find out how did this world come to an existence. And that's why the main purpose of Shastra is not to teach why and how did the world come, but whenever the creation part comes, certain doubts that arises in person's mind or seeker's mind, that is being resolved. That is also to be taken into very clear understanding. However, with this understanding, let us look at very carefully. As you know, here mainly in Purana, in one story there will be another story. And in that story there will be another story, okay, like dream world. So in dream, you see another dream. Then in that dream there will be another dream. Finally, you are confused, okay? So also in Purana, stories inside story is there, and one has to be careful and be alert. But unfortunately, people listen to Purana just for dharma, not for apavarga. That's why they don't get head or tail out of it. However, here says, first of all, as you know, Vyasa means Vyasacharya, who has codified not only Veda but also Purana. And when he codified, first he taught especially Purana because he chose one aspect to teach one disciple. Like, for example, Veda Purvabhaga Jaimini. So here he taught Loma Harshana, one rishi. So he taught all Puranas. And Roma Harshana had one son called Ugrasrava. Then of course the father had to teach all these secrets to his son. Here also I would like to make a note with all of you. In our culture, there is a little bit confusion, in the sense, actually in reality there is no confusion, but people think it is a confusion. That sometimes Shishya vahi putraha. The Shishya, the disciple, indeed becomes Putra, the son. Putra vahi Shishya, both are. So the son also is disciple. Sometimes we don't know whether it's son or disciple, but sometimes it says son, sometimes describes as disciple. But remember, both are one and same. So don't look for too much explanation. If son comes, you take disciple. If disciple comes also, you can take his son. Absolutely no problem. But knowledge-wise, better to take disciple. Now this Ugrasrava, now when he, all these things he knew, now what is to be done? Now this Ugrasrava was sitting, as you know, when you have knowledge, you feel like doing nothing. Enough, what is there? That happens, okay? Now the job of the guru is what? Look, at least loka sangrahartham, for the sake of society, do something, okay? Or else, what will happen? Rishi Rinam will continue. You were lucky enough to get this knowledge. Also, your responsibility also is what? To hand over to the next generation. So why to keep quiet? So better what you do? Better go and teach. And where to go? Says beautifully, this is what now Kumbh Mela is going on. It's a very beautiful point to understand. Prayagaraja. So why it is called Prayagaraja? Because Prayaga means where more than one river joins. So that is called Prayaga. So we have many meeting points. So whether it is Vishnu Prayaga, Karna Prayaga, Rudra Prayaga, Deva Prayaga, all these are Prayagas, and also there are many other Prayagas we don't know. That is not named properly. Means when the main river is flowing and whenever other river starts joining, so that meeting point is called Prayaga, is auspicious place. And interestingly, the Prayagaraja, where Kumbh Mela is being done now, that is the king, that is the main place of all meeting points where three rivers have joined together. One is Gangaji, Yamuna, and Saraswati. Interestingly, I would like to say, long back goes a story to Birbal. Very nice thing to understand. So these are the stories created, okay? Don't look at, not assume that, oh, Akbar was a great king of Hinduism supporter. It's a wrong story, okay? Very clearly, I would like to say. Because don't, to be very honest, don't believe too much these old stories what we have heard from our childhood, especially after independence. Most of the stories are fabricated just to make sure to accommodate Muslim, nothing else. However, let us take this story is convenient for us, so that's why I'm taking it, okay? So now one day it seems Akbar asked Birbal, will you tell me which is the most holy river in India? So Akbar, knowing that answer will be what? Gangaji. But Birbal smartly answered, Yamuna. Akbar got shocked. How is it possible? How is it possible that Yamuna is the holiest river in India, but not Ganga? Akbar said, this is the problem with you Muslim. You understand? Jahapana, this is what your mistake. Now what? We never look at Gangaji as a river. If we look at her as a river, then I can say that that is the holiest river in India. In fact, for us, she is mother. So she is Pratyaksha Devi. So being the mother, the direct goddess, how can I compare her with a river? However, that's why here where Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, these 3 points are joined together is called Prayagaraja. Since the creation, it is being accepted that in this Prayagaraja, always sadhus used to be present. And they used to discuss, like as I told you yesterday, this Kalpavasa is going on. So these sadhus, Mahatmas, great learned people do stay there, discuss and spend time in Yaga, and in the evening hours, free time, they discuss Purana. This is how things move. So whole day there will be different type of rituals, and evening part do the discussion. And here he says what happened when all these people were doing Yaga. Now, because of Yaga, the power of ritual, Dharma Purusha appeared. And remember, the power of Yaga is as such, whatever you wish, you can achieve through that. Because when we do Sakama Karma, means the karma with a given desire, it has to bring result. Depends upon how much you are prepared. And if you are prepared, definitely it has to give result. There is no doubt in it. However, here is being said that when all these Mahatmas, Rishis, Sadhus were present in that Yaga place where Dharma Purusha arrived or appeared, better word. Now they requested, now what to do? Where should we go now? Then Dharma Purusha said, look, now Dharma represents as a wheel, Kala Chakra. A very nice concept to understand. That's why if you observe in India, when long back Mahabharata, that old Mahabharata was created, so it started with the Kala Chakram, and that voice and all these things, it's amazing. So that's why they took this concept. Dharma is nothing called Kala Chakra, the wheel of time. We'll be discussing today time concept. And however, this Dharma said that, look, as this Kala Chakra, Dharma Chakra keeps moving, wherever it falls down, there you people can said, and that will be the holy place. And it is being said very nicely. The wheels of Kalam Chakra is called Nemi, sometimes Nimi. So Nemi or Nimi. And where that last portion fell down, that place is called Naimisharanya. So the jungle that where the Nemi fell down and is one of the auspicious place. Now when all these great Mahatmas, sadhus are there, now what happened? Now by the permission of father or teacher, Ugrasava has reached there. Now when he reaches, of course everybody start asking, how did you come, what happened, how is your father? Now this is the difference you need to understand. Generally, when there is knowledge, we'll be seeing in some other place, very nice thing comes. In fact, when the creation of Prakarana comes, it will come. How these Tanmatras give birth to different things. And also sometimes knowledge gives birth to Darpam, Ahankara. And here, Ugrasava is a knowledgeable person, but bends down to all the great Mahatmas, does all sort of, satkara. Then, of course, all these people started addressing him. So they addressed him as called Suta. Why Suta? There is another point we'll be seeing later on. Suta has got different meanings. We'll be seeing, hold on, later on. And they asked, okay, look, O Ugrasava, O Suta, now you have learnt everything from Vyasacharya. From your father called Lomaharshana. And Lomaharshana has learnt from Vyasacharya. That means you are Purana Veta. So please teach the Puranam. Because please understand, most important thing also we say, when any ritual happens, any ritual time, there will be a Yajamana. So Yajamana means the one who arranges, organizes on behalf of whom or who leads the entire thing, called Yajamana mainly. Actually, Yajamana always should be Vedagya. Because if the Yajamana is not Vedagya, definitely that person cannot be proper Yajamana either. That's why we say Shaunaka is a Rishi. He was Yajamana, and who knows all the details of ritual portion of Veda. That's why we say very carefully, if you observe, especially when we do any common rituals. Okay, we don't follow certain rules because we don't know. That's why we are supposed to take the help of Brahma. So Brahma means the one who officiates, who leads, who knows all the Vedas. In fact, he decides how much dakshina to be given to whom. And in this regard, we don't have any choice. So nowadays everything is a package, okay, don't worry, especially in South India, North India, every India. So it is a package-based ritual. So I want Ganapati Home, starting with the Ganapati Home, okay? Starting with the Ganapati, they will say, do you want to provide material or we'll come with our material, okay? So people happily choose what? No, you come with your material so that we don't have to do anything. And especially, this joke, because I need to, I don't have singing, so I have to make some joke, okay? These are my jokes. This is Gruha Pravesam. Very nice, I like it, okay? Especially Chennai Gruha Pravesam is something amazing. Present day, when they did this, they do Gruha Pravesam means housewarming ceremony, okay? For other people to understand. So what they do, because it is in their system, they cannot forget. The fellow has bought house in 7th floor, 8th floor apartment, but wants the cow to be entered. So what to do? So amazing concept. In Chennai it works, okay? So first they will say, they will give you shortcut. There is a package in that. Okay, you can have silver cow. You can enter. Or if in the lift, if you can manage to a calf, that is also okay. But no, you are very adamant. No, I want cow to enter. Do you know what they do? They create a separate lift outside, okay? So that both mother and calf baby can come inside. And for that, there is a special package, okay? Good, nothing wrong in it. Joke apart. So with package or without package, this is being decided how much dakshina to be given by called Brahmaji. And remember, who is Yajamana, who is officiating the ritual, also should have knowledge. Unfortunately, why this rituals degrading in India? Nowadays, Yajamanas are not knowledgeable person, but rich people. So who has money becomes Yajamana, not who has knowledge. Especially if you look at any common puja. So who are, like all of you know, there are many great people all over the world have come to visit what? This Kumbh Mela. But everybody knows, even if a child knows what? This Steve Jobs' wife has come. How does it matter to us who is Steve Jobs? You understand? Because everybody is crazy to hold iPhone. Like somebody says me, look, people stand in the queue to have the iPhone so that they will create their identity through iPhone. Now look at the owner of the iPhone is standing in the queue to understand her identity. Okay, beautiful to listen to, but it has no value, please understand. Why I am highlighting here is, in Purana, Yajamanas should be knowledgeable person. Then only the ritual will be more fruitful. And to give knowledge, that's why this Purana Katha was done. That's why if you look at any puja we do, especially in North India, this Katha is very predominant. Because lack of knowledge, especially even if they do this Satyanarayana puja, for example, sake, ordinary puja called Satyanarayana puja. It is not ordinary, actually technically very big puja. In fact, that is the puja I would rather say. Why? Because where Panchayatana puja is being done systematically or supposed to be done systematically. But however, they make sure after this Satyanarayana puja, there will be some katha. The importance of the puja will be discussed in details. So to make sure, person must have knowledge what the person is doing. Now here, Saunaka, the great lauded person, now he becomes the Yajamana. And interestingly, Saunaka was Acharya of Aranyaka portion of Veda, because this is the point I wanted to bring it. Because each portion, so Aranyaka means where the ritualistic portion of Veda discussed in details. And he was the Acharya. That means he knew what is all about it. And he asked, now look, being the son of Lomaharshana, and that too, grand teacher or grandfather happens to be Vyasacharya. Now we would like to know how this Purana, especially this Srishti, has come to existence. And will you please describe? Because why? Here we say Purana, by reading, it is called Trivarga Data. It gives three things. So mainly what are the three varga? They are dharma, artha, kama. So just by doing Sravanam, by listening to Purana, one will get dharma by default. So here dharma means punya ityartha. And of course, artha, security, and wealth comes too. Because when you are secure, everything comes, okay? When you are insecure, nothing comes. And also kama. So kama means what? Indriya upabhoga. So the sense organs are being engaged in their respective field. Whereas when this Purana Sravanam being used for Apavarga, because this is three Varga Data. By default, Purana gives three things. But if it is being used for Moksha, called Apavarga, definitely you will get Moksha. All these three things will be auxiliary, secondary, but you don't bother. Now, when he says, look, there, first thing is, very nicely, our Suta or Ugrasava said this. Look, what is that says? Puranam Sarvasastranam Prathamam Brahmana Smrutam Trivarga Sadhanam Punyam Satakoti Pravistharam Yo Vidya Chatura Vedan Sango Panishadoddijaha Puranam Cha Vijanati Yah Sah Tasmat Vichakshana. So he says, look, if I look at Puranas, so Purana is nothing but consisting of 100 crores verses, means 1000 million verses. And of course, this is being the first Shastra and which is being given by Brahmaji. And Trivarga Sadhanam Punyam iti. So it is a Punya Karakam. It brings Punyam. And also it is the means for three Varga. So what are they? Dharma, Artha and Kama. But what happens? In due course of time, as we have discussed, it has been reduced by Vyasacharya into 4 lakhs or 0.4 million verses. So where is 100,000 million verses? And where is what? Just 0.4 million verses. However, here it says that how this Purana, because this Padma Purana especially is nothing but Hridaya Padma Sangyakam, being the heart, now is divided into 5 parts. Yesterday we were struggling. The first one was Srishti, second one Bhumi, third one Swarga, fourth one Patala, and fifth one Uttara. So this Patala, I was saying somewhere Patala is missing as per my knowledge. So these are the 5 parts it has been. Now question may comes, how this comes to an end? Sorry, how this started coming very nicely. Now in that we'll be listening to another story. Another story is here, very nicely says, look, because when we try to see many times that as mainly while listening to Purana, you listen to Pulastya Uvacha. I don't know whether those who have heard this. So many times this Pulastya Rishi name comes. So how this Pulastya comes, we'll see. As all of you know, Bhishma. So Bhishma was called as Devavrata. I am going back to now Dwapara era. Here Bhishma, after his sacrifice, especially he stands for Pitru Bhakti, because we say, or we marketed, I would rather say, Rama for Pitru Bhakti. So Sri Rama was being marketed for Pitru Bhakti, but in reality Bhishma stands for Pitru Bhakti. Pitru Bhakti means devotion towards father. That's why he was called Bhishma. And after doing all these things, he went to called present Haridwara. So you also need to understand why it is called Haridwara. So Dwara means gate. So gateway to Hari, Hari means here called Badri Narayana. So to go to Badri Narayana, this is the gateway. And some people call as Haradwara, gateway to what? Our Kedarnath. So whether to go to Kedarnath or go to Badri Narayana, so Haradwara or Haridwara. Actually this Haradwara, Haridwara has come now. So there was no point of this Haridwara or Haradwara. Okay, this is not a point at all. But earlier it was called as Ganga Dwara. The original name of Haridwara is Ganga Dwara. So this is the gateway of Gangaji. So especially when Gangaji starts flowing, and after this, all these mountains, Himalayan mountains, when it starts flowing, from there it starts. In fact, all the rishis were there. That's why till now, if you see, you will find out Saptarshi Ashram in Haridwara or in Gangadwara. Because prior to that, there was no Rishikesh, okay? There was no forget about all this Uttarakasi, all these things. This nothing was there, okay? So only it was mountains, nothing much. But everything started from Gangadwara. Now Bhishmaji was staying in Gangadwara. Now when he stays in Gangadwara, so what he has to do? So he has to do Tarpanam every day. That's why Sandhya Vandanam is part of daily life. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable to say that this is missing in us. If you observe, forget about a devoted Muslim especially, even if a common Muslim, I must really admit this point in them. On a given day, on a time, wherever they are, they would prefer to do their prayer. Whether it's right or wrong, let us not look at that. But the dedication that they have, that is completely missing in us. We are very much, insecure, and an insecure person becomes self-conscious. Try to understand this point. An insecure person becomes self-conscious. That's why always I say, if you try to look at yourself, how you walk, how you talk, what is happening, what is not happening, that means you are completely insecure with reference to yourself. And we especially, including spiritual practitioners or so-called spiritual people, they conveniently do this prayer. But as per the rule, Sandhya Vandanam is to be done wherever you are, makes no difference. Now there's new trend started coming, some youngsters in the train, they stop and they do whatever, which is very nice. And they become a content of reels. Very unfortunate, okay? They become the content for the reels. Hey, look, what is this going on? But this is supposed to be done every day. And here, Bhishma, as I brought the topic, he was doing his Sandhya Vandanam, his ritual, especially with Surya Bhagavan. Now what happened here? Now Pulastya reached there. So why Pulastya reached? Because when Bhishmaji was doing his tapas, this is the beauty in tapas. Actually, when we do any, let us say, sadhana, we don't ask for anything. And when we do not ask for anything, many things comes in. Because this is the nature. It is like, if you observe, if you do japam, I can start with the japam, okay? Suppose you have planned, let me do 1 lakh time of japam, or do purascharanam. For what? To get this, to get that. So your focus is not in japam. Your focus will be always to get that. So whether it's coming or not. So sometimes the doubt will be there. In fact, all your energy will be killed by your doubt. Whereas when you do just japam, do purascharanam, you are not looking for anything. Just you feel like doing, you do it. Then what happens? The rule is, when you complete purascharanam, something or other has to come. So every karma has a karma phala, both direct pratyaksha and paraksha. So pratyaksha is what? Santamanam. Not only santamanas, also the all other things, many things happens, but also it has to bring paraksha, karma phala. But what happened here, when we generally suggest people, whatever you are doing, do with shraddha, without looking for end result. Why? Please understand. What is your end result? All your end result related to what? Mainly artha and kama. There is no secondary. So what is artha? Artha is nothing to become secure. I am not talking about prosperity, okay? To become secure. Security and engaging all your what? Sense organs in their respective field. Imagine you have all money, like this Steve Jobs' wife comes all the way to enjoy this, what you call, Ganga Snanam, but not able to enter because allergic. So you have all, but your eyes cannot see. Even if you put the specs, still not visible. Imagine. So what is the kama? Where is the kama? Is there any kama? So that means what? All my effort is only for artha and kama. But in reality, artha and kama is not required. It will come by itself. So when artha, this is the most important point I am hitting again and again. Artha and kama, both will come by itself. I don't have to do anything for artha and kama, because we have been taught that for artha and kama we have to work for. But in reality, when you start elevating yourself, when you don't elevate, of course you will being pushed for this. Once you are being elevated, you don't have to work for artha and kama. In fact, you work for dharma first. So you use artha and kama for, kama means all sense organs, use for dharma, and use that dharma for apavarga moksha. Now, when this is the method, that's why when this Bhishma was doing his tapas, he did not expect anything. Then Brahmaji thought, why not to give him a boon? So how to give a boon? So he sent Paulastha Rishi. Hey, you go and meet him. Give him whatever he wants. And when he arrived, our Bhishma was very happy. Oh, so nice. No, because I came, because Brahmaji sent, because he is very pleased with you. Please ask me what you want. He said, I don't need anything. That you have arrived here, that itself is what? The best thing that I can achieve. Then what he says, look, as a rule, you have come here. I don't have much things. I am just living. I am not a king. I am just ordinary person. But I have few things for tarpanam. So whatever things I have, we call ashtadravya. So this is the point I would like to also bring. Some people tried to say, in fact, a lot of discussion was going on, and somebody asked me in place, Swamiji, when we do especially Surya Tarpanam, so is it allowed the milk to be added while offering arghyam to Surya Bhagavan? So actually, technically speaking, that it is allowed. In fact, this milk comes in one of the 8 dravyas. And these 8 dravyas is supposed to be offered, and they are, we call as that, the verse I look into. So that first is, we say that durva. So the grass, one type of grass that we use for Lord Ganesha, and of course rice, flour, kusha, mustard, yogurt, honey, then milk, and sometimes we use this barley. So these are the 8 things, can be offered, can be mixed, absolutely no problem. So this is the point comes, and this is being offered to any atithi, also is allowed. Now here, he says carefully, now I have these are the things, take it. And here he mentions very nicely, this is the procedure to understand. When a person comes, first things what is to be done is, first is make the person sit, then first padyam, then arghyam. After making the person sit down, then wash the feet. Not, please wash your feet and come inside. Okay? So nowadays, first of all, nobody washes. They'll say, oh, I am in the shoe, I came by car, okay? So either I am in the shoe, I am in the car, okay? Don't keep a hand like this. So this is not good. So here, you have to see that we come by car, so we don't need to wash our feet. And this is not right, okay? Why wash to feet? There is a point, reason also is there. Because when a person comes to your home, remember, these are the tricks. Especially, whoever the person may be. This was the earlier tradition, now things have gone. Especially elderly people or any learned people have come. They have come, either you have called or they have come for their purpose. Whether they need some help from you, or you need some help from you, or just for casual. 3 things can be. Now, they will come with their energy. And also there will be some type of disturbance while traveling. To do upasamanam, first what we do, wash the feet. Once the feet is being washed, all, this yatra vadha, upasamanam is being done. So whatever custom the person has taken during yatra time, during travel time, that is being taken care. That's why first is asanam, then comes padyam. That's why all Shodasopachara puja is being followed in the same method. Then comes padyam, also arghyam. Arghyam means washing the hand. After that, give some, technical language, madhuparkam, something to drink. Then you should ask, how are you? How did you come? All these things. And here, Vyasacharya did, sorry, I made a mistake, Bhishma. I don't know why Vyasa is going all the time. Bhishma did this thing. So first doing namaskaram, proper namaskaram, and all these things did, and offered whatever was there. Now ask, look, I don't need anything. I have everything. But as you have come here, I would like to know how this universe has come to an existence. We are supposed to discuss today this, because I took so long to arrive at this point. That how did this universe come to an existence? So is it in keeping with Darwin theory? This is my version, okay? He didn't ask. Or is it Big Bang theory? So please clarify. Now definitely he is going to say, don't worry, we don't believe in this Darwin theory, but it is a Big Bang theory, but in a Darwin process. The concept is Big Bang theory, but in a Darwin process. That's why the big confusion has happened by the scientist. So what happened? He says, look, First thing you need to understand, when we talk about creation, we all know this is Brahmaji. So there is a Brahmaji, that's why Padma Purana. Brahmaji was born, first comes, we say, the lotus. And on the top of the lotus, Brahmaji was there. Then Brahmaji created the universe. Now here I would like to bring this point very carefully, which is part of this Padma Purana. He says, look, there is no difference between Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. All are one and same. Same Vishnu is Brahma. Same Brahma is Rudra. In the Srishti Prakranam, it is clear, makes it very clear, which we discussed in the last class. What? Rajasic aspect, Sattvic aspect and Tamasic aspect of totality. So when we talk about Rajasic aspect, so that you can understand and relate with Vedanta, so that it becomes easier. Now he says, look, first of all, this Brahmaji or the Rajasic aspect of Ishvara, of Bhagavan, of Brahman, Maya Samyeta. So Brahman plus Maya is called Ishvara, as we discussed, and that Rajasic aspect of Ishvara is called Brahmaji. Now he creates. So what he says? Now he is being seated on lotus. They say Brahmaji, when he was being seated in lotus, he did not see anything. In fact, he did not find where he is from. Eka iti. Then he tried to become many. So how did he become many? We have seen in Vedanta. So let us not get into that technical point. But here we says, look, he first created called Mahat Tattva. So what is this Mahat Tattva? So Mahat Tattva means that Maya Sameta. Maya, here you can use the word. This Maya Sameta Brahman. And that gets divided into three parts. So this Mahat Tattva becomes, one is called technical name, Vaikarika, called Sattvic aspect, Taijasa, Rajasic aspect, and the third one would be called Tamasic aspect, where they call as Ahankara. And when these three started, now from Sattvic aspect, what happens? Now all devatas are born. And from Taijasa, from Rajasic, comes all Karmendriya and Gyanendriya. And finally, from Ahankara, Tamasic Ahankara, comes what? All Pancha Tanmatras that we have discussed in Vedanta. So it means Panchabhutas. Now point comes here. So there is a little difference what we studied in Vedanta and what we talk here. So there what we see, Akashat Vayu, Vayo Ragni, Agne Rapa, Adbhya Prithibhi, Prithibhyo Annam Annat Sarvam Iti. That is how the order is. So first we give importance to all elements. But here little bit differently, which is very much I liked it. He says, look, first thing is, when you talk about this Tanmatra First, when it goes through modification, first comes sabda. First is not akas, okay? First is sabda. Sabda means sound. Little difference, observe. And because it is sabda, now the sabda need to be accommodated somewhere. So where to be accommodated? In akasha. So that's why akasha's guna is shabda grahanam. So I am trying to connect with our Vedanta, okay? So first comes the Sabda, keeping with Shabda comes Akasha. Same thing also, next step would be that from, then we say Akasat Vayuhu, from Sabda comes Sparsha. Sparsha means to touch. Now touch to be accommodated somewhere. So where to be accommodated? Vayu. So that's why the Vayu guna is what? To touch. Because of Vayu only you feel. Now we'll be seeing also little later on the unique point of Akasa is Sabda and Vayu becomes Sparsha. Sabda Sparsha. Then comes Rupa. From Rupa, now Rupa means seeing, comes Agni. That's why Agni's guna becomes Rupa. Then from Rupa comes Rasa. And because of Rasa, Rasa means to taste, now water. So water has a gunam of Rasa. And from Rasa comes Gandha. So Gandha means smell. And that smell again is nothing but the earth. Now interestingly, this way it is more clearer than Vedanta, I would rather say. Here in Akasha, only Sabda is there. In Vayu, both Sabda and Sparsha. So this is the unique point of this Purana. And when you go to Agni, fire has got 3 points. It has got Shabda, it has got Sparsha. Now third point is Rupam. Now the fourth point comes Apaha, water. In water we have Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa and Rasam. And finally comes Prithvi. Prithvi has all 5 points. Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandham, both. All 5 put together. So this is the point to be understood. Don't say that, look, yes, only Rasam is in Apam. No. In Apam, the unique point, additional point is Rasam. But also other 3 exist. 3 plus 1. Or in Prithvi case, 4 plus 1. Now, while discussing this thing, says, look, now keeping with that, now from Sattvic Ahankara, because here Ahankara we can say, divided into 3 categories. Sattvic Ahankara, Rajasic Ahankara and Tamasic Ahankara. And Tamasic aspect, what we saw, Tamasic aspect is nothing but all these Panchabhutas. So that's why the gross elements that we see is nothing but tamasic aspect. And because of that reason, our cultural practices comes. Like when we eat, so after eating, because where the Prithvi is predominant, Prithvi Tattva is more predominant. So when Prithvi Tattva is more predominant, what we do? To purify, we use Apa, water. Because you need to understand this aspect very carefully. Whereas in Devata case, when we offer food to Devatas, after offering food, because they don't take a Prithvi Tattva, they don't take gross food, thank God. Imagine if your God takes a banana, will you offer next day? Just imagine. You keep 2 bananas, that fellow takes one, okay? Then next day before going to puja room, he'll say, look, please go in some other's house and fill your stomach and come back, okay? I want you to be my security guard, okay? But don't consume anything. So everybody wants God to be security guard in the house, okay? Like security guard protects you and goes out and eats, okay? Like that. However, joke apart. So God does not eat. Means especially the gross food, takes subtle food. So what it takes, please understand, you also need to understand here, that gandham agranam. So here we take the Prithvi directly food, but Ishvara takes gandham. So when gandham takes, and in that gandham also rasam is there. So both gandham and rasam taken care by what? By Ishvara. That's why to purify that energy, what we do? Technically, after every Naivedyam, Arati is being done, Karpura Arati is being done. So the fire is being offered. So if the fire is not being offered, the energy of God will go down. You understand how these are the logically being designed in the cultural aspect? Because people think, oh, nothing to do, and especially present ladies, oh, my room is so dark, I don't know what is happening, okay? Don't do any camphor arati, okay? And some people will, namesake, okay? Good. But that doesn't mean that you will put this much, okay? Don't do that either, okay? So balance yourself. Because there are guys, they will love. Now Swamiji told, okay? So tomorrow onwards or today itself, some 4 or 5 camphor together. Swamiji, I am purifying the house, okay? Please, for God's sake, don't do it, and don't allow me to get a telephone call, okay? Please. However, when this thing happens, now very nicely is being said that all this put together is called this creation, and which was available in the form of andam called egg. So we need to understand this concept very carefully. If you observe, scientific study in the beginning said the earth is like round, but we never accepted earth is round, because always we say andakruti. Anda means like an egg. So egg is not round. And remember, we are not talking about creation of earth. We are talking about the creation of entire universe. And interestingly, if you observe whatever photos are available, the galaxy, even if our solar system, the solar system diagram, how it moves, does it move in a circular, completely circular, or egg way? And galaxy. So that is what is being presented here, that it was andakruti. So the andakruti it was. So it is, that means the whole universe was like this or is like this. And interestingly says that here when everything was being filled with that, he brings very carefully, which will be seen in the next week, to understand the concept of this creation. Paulastya wanted to explain how the time is calculated. Please understand, this second minute has no value for us. I am dismissing the second minute hour concept. So this second minute hour is a modern faulty system. If you observe, I'm just trying to talk about our month. Now please tell me, year is how many days? So closing your eyes, you will say 365 days. Wrong. It is 360 days. We have to correct ourselves, which we'll be seeing in details, okay? That's why I'm creating the expectation in you why and how. Because if you say 365 days is a year, then there is 1 year comes 366. I think this year, last year was there, February 29, if I'm right. So where from that one day came? You understand? How did you account leap year, this year, that year? Hey, don't try to create a mess, okay? So 360 days is called a month. Sorry, a year. And why? Please understand. Why we don't accept this time concept with reference to second, minute, all this concept? We accept called nimisham. We'll be seeing in details. So what is a nimisham? Nimisham means winkling the eyes. From that, the muhurtam and other aspect is being kasta, muhurtam, all these things being discussed. We'll be seeing this. Like, you know, remember, in India, we didn't have this paisa concept. In fact, this ana, this, that, there are a lot of other calculation we had, okay? There's a char ana. All these things we had, different concept we had. So this, what happened, Britishers came and they destroyed this cent, this, that, okay, whatever paisa or cent, all this concept, try to formalize. It's a wrong concept. Convenient concept, maybe. So it had some meaning. That's why when we look at keeping this in mind, we never do japam in keeping with time. Timer is not allowed for japam. Oh, I am doing half an hour meditation. Okay, good. Thank you. Wish you all the best. For half an hour, at least others are not disturbed by you. Okay? That's all, nothing else. And here, best thing is we say nimisham. So nimisham means what? Winkling. So that means what? 15 to 20 times in a minute, one winkles. So that means one nimisham is considered as what? 3 to 4 seconds. And we will be calculating time not based on the second or microsecond or whatever, but we will be calculating based on nimisham in next class, next Saturday or coming Saturday. Thank you, please. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.